Types of data. So there are two types of data, numerical data and categorical data. Numerical data is a type of data that expresses information that is quantifiable in the form of numbers. So maybe I'll underline that. Numerical always is quantifiable in the terms of numbers, while categorical data is a type of data that is used to group information with similar characteristics. So with categorical, we're really talking about data that you can put in categories, and numerical data is more of that kind of number based. So here we go. Number 1 says, sort the following data studies as either numerical or categorical. Sort by putting the letters in the table. A little hint, there'll be 3 of each. Okay. So A says brands of cars at a used car lot. So when we're thinking of brands and cars, that's categorical data. So I'm going to put that here. And the reason being is because when we're talking about brands of cars, could be Ford, Chevy, Honda. Those are all different brands of cars. You can separate them into categories. B says the heights of players on a basketball team. This is numerical. That's going to be numerical because when we're talking about heights of players, we're talking about they could be 5'7" or 5'8" or 6 foot, 6'2". Like that's, or I guess you could more say that in terms of inches. Like they could be 72 inches tall, 74 inches tall. So that's numerical. We're talking about kind of numbers there. C, distance golf balls hit. Yeah, that's also numerical. Because we're saying, oh, you could hit it, 50 yards, 60 yards, 62.3 yards. Like that's a numerical sort of thing. So really, when you think about categorical data, you can put it in categories based off like their qualitative properties, and numerical is more about their quantitative properties. So I'll let you try to sort D, E, and F. Now, it says we can also further classify data as univariate or bivariate. So univariate has only one variable measured, and bivariate has 2 variables measured. So it says consider the following data displays, classify them as numerical or categorical, and classify them as univariate or bivariate. Okay. 2 says the age and salary of 20 people with 4-year college degrees are recorded in the scatter plot below. Is it numerical or is it categorical? It's numerical. It's not separated by any categories. We're looking at age and we're looking at salary, income. This is numerical data. Is it univariate or bivariate? Well, I just kind of explained it, but we're looking at 2 separate variables, the age and year and salary, income. This is bivariate. We have 2 variables. So scatter plots like this are numerical and they're bivariate. That's what they're used for, numerical bivariate data. Number 3 says the drink selection of students at an elementary school is recorded in the circle graph below. Is this numerical or categorical? So let's look what we have here. We're looking at drink selection. So we have orange juice, milk, and apple juice. Those are different categories. So this is categorical. And that's the only variable. The only variable that we have is this drink selection. And it's by orange juice, milk, or apple juice. So this is univariate. Four says 258 residents from Georgia and residents from Illinois were surveyed on whether they prefer hash browns or grits. Okay, so hash browns or grits. I think this is leading towards more of a categorical. And the responses are in the joint frequency table. So this is categorical because we're separating categories of hash browns and grits, and if you're from Georgia or Illinois. It's also bivariate because we're dealing with 2 separate variables. We have the state in which they're from, Georgia or Illinois, and hash browns or grits. So those are the 2 variables we're looking at. So this is bivariate. So these joint frequency tables are bivariate. And I guess I didn't fail to mention there, but all circle graphs like this are categorical univariate. All joint frequency tables are categorical bivariate. Now let's look at box plots. This says the number of absences for students at a middle school is put in the box plot. This is numerical. There's no categories here. It's a count of a number of absences. And that's the only variable, is just the number of absences. This is not two variable. There's only one variable, the number of absences. This is univariate. So box plots are numerical univariate displays. Here we have a line graph. It says an individual's heart rate was recorded every 2 minutes during a workout in the line graph. Is it numerical or is it categorical? This is numerical. Look at our variables. We have time in minutes. That's like a count. Heart rate, it's like a count. It's not separating categories. This is numerical. And there's two variables. We have our heart rate and we have our time. So that means it's bivariate. So line graphs are numerical bivariate. Got a couple more. We have histogram. The heights of 17 American men were organized in the histogram. This is numerical. It's not separated by categories. Height is a numerical variable. And this is univariate. The only variable we have is height in inches. There's no variable here. This is just the counts. Eights is a group of 21. So all histograms, keep this in mind, all histograms are numerical univariate. Now 8 is a bar graph. It says a group of 21 teenagers were surveyed on their favorite sport. Their data is in the bar graph. This is categorical, because this variable of sports is separated into categories. Soccer, basketball, baseball, those are different categories. It's not numerical, those are categories. And this is univariate because there's only one variable. We're just talking about their favorite sport. Again, this isn't a variable, this is just the counts. So they're saying 6 picked soccer, right? 6 picked soccer, 10 picked basketball, and 5 picked baseball. This is univariate. Now 9's a lot like 8. Whoops. It says 19 boys and girls were asked what genre of music they prefer to watch. So this is in a segmented bar graph. So a bar graph on number 8 is just categorical univariate. This one's still categorical because we're talking about comedy, romance. We're talking about, those are different categories in terms of the genre of movies. But this one is bivariate because we've added an extra variable. Now we have boys and girls. So we have comedy, romance, action. That's you're going to tell us it's categorical. But now we also added another variable, which is boys or girls. So this is bivariate. So segmented bar graphs are categorical bivariate. So I'm going to let you do this table here. It says sort the following types of displays to the types of data they are most suited for. So put the letters in the tables. There will be 2 for each. So what I would do is go back and review all these explanations. So this one was a 9 with a segmented, bar graph. This was just a regular bar graph for 8. Just go back, look at all these different displays and see how I define them, and then sort them in terms of what is their most appropriate types of data that they're suited for. Okay, so I'm going to let you do number 10.